Have you ever noticed how the little things seem to take more effort than they used to? Like climbing the stairs feels a bit heavier, or your eyes take longer to adjust when the lights change. Maybe you've found yourself feeling more tired in the afternoon, even after a good night's sleep. You might shrug it off and think, well, I'm just getting older. And sure, aging brings changes, but sometimes, what feels like just getting older is actually your body sending you a quiet warning. Let me ask you something personal. Have you or someone close to you been living with diabetes for a while? Maybe type 2, diagnosed years ago. You take your meds, try to watch your diet, but it's easy to let things slide a little, isn't it? Maybe your blood sugar's a bit up and down. Life gets busy, routines change, and before you know it, a few months have passed since you last checked in with your doctor. It happens. But here's the thing, not keeping your diabetes under control, especially as you get older, can open the door to some truly dangerous complications. And I'm not just talking about high numbers on a chart. We're talking about things that can deeply affect your quality of life, your vision, your heart, your kidneys, even your feet. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to talk to you like a friend, someone who cares, because you deserve to live your best life, full of energy, independence, and joy. And to do that, it helps to understand what's really at stake when diabetes isn't managed properly. So let's talk about it, about what can really happen if we let our blood sugar stay too high for too long. We'll walk through it gently, and I promise, there's hope in every step. You'll see that even small changes, done consistently, can protect you from some of the most serious problems. Let's start with one of the most common, and sneaky, complications, damage to your nerves. This kind of nerve damage is called neuropathy, and if you've ever felt tingling or burning in your feet, or maybe a sense of numbness that makes it feel like you're walking on cotton balls, that could be it. At first, it might seem like a minor nuisance. But over time, if blood sugar isn't controlled, the nerves can become so damaged that you can actually lose feeling in parts of your body, especially your feet. Now, why is that such a big deal? Well, imagine stepping on something sharp and not feeling it. A small cut goes unnoticed. You keep walking on it, maybe in a shoe that rubs the wrong way, and it turns into a sore, then maybe an infection, and before long, what started as a tiny issue becomes something that threatens your mobility or worse. In some cases, this leads to amputations. And I know that's a hard word to hear. But the good news is, this doesn't have to be your story. Keeping your blood sugar in a healthy range can actually slow down, or even prevent, this kind of nerve damage. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aware, taking small, steady steps in the right direction. Checking your feet regularly, wearing proper shoes, and catching little issues early, that alone can save you from serious trouble down the road. And that brings us to another complication that's easy to overlook until it starts affecting your daily life, your eyesight. Have you ever found yourself squinting a bit more, or noticing that your glasses don't seem to work like they used to? That could just be a natural part of aging, sure. But when you're living with diabetes, there's more to keep an eye on, literally. High blood sugar can damage the tiny blood vessels in the back of your eyes, in an area called the retina. When those vessels get weak or start leaking, it can lead to something called diabetic retinopathy. It often starts without symptoms. You might not even know anything's wrong until your vision starts to blur or you begin seeing dark spots or floaters. Left untreated, this can progress to severe vision loss, and in some cases, even blindness. But here's the hopeful part, regular eye exams can catch this early. And if your blood sugar is kept in a healthy range, the risk of developing serious eye problems drops dramatically. It's amazing, isn't it? How one simple habit, checking in on your numbers, maybe walking a bit more, cutting back on sweets, can protect something as precious as your ability to see your grandchildren's faces clearly, to read your favorite book, to enjoy a sunset. That's what's at stake. And it's worth every bit of effort. Now let's talk about something that's a bit closer to the heart, quite literally. Your cardiovascular system. Did you know that people with diabetes are more likely to have heart disease or stroke? It's true. Over time, high blood sugar can damage the blood vessels and nerves that control your heart. But here's what's even more surprising, it doesn't always look like chest pain. Sometimes it shows up as fatigue. Or maybe you feel short of breath going up the stairs, or your legs cramp up while walking. These could be early signs that your heart isn't getting the support it needs. What's tricky is that these symptoms can be easy to ignore, especially as we get older. "I'm just out of shape," we might tell ourselves. Or it's just part of aging. But if diabetes is in the picture, it's a good idea to listen a little closer to what your body might be trying to say. Getting regular checkups, managing your blood pressure and cholesterol, and keeping your blood sugar stable, these things aren't just good for your diabetes. They're acts of love for your heart. They help keep you strong, steady, and ready to enjoy the moments that really matter. And that's what this is all about, giving you the tools to stay well, stay active, and stay in charge of your health. Because you're not just managing a condition, you're protecting your future. Now that we've talked about how diabetes can affect your nerves, your eyes, and your heart, let's continue exploring what else can happen when blood sugar isn't kept in check. And here we are, continuing our journey through the hidden dangers that can sneak up when blood sugar stays too high for too long. We've already looked at how diabetes can harm your nerves, your eyes, and your heart. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the hardest working organs in your body, the kidneys, and see why keeping them healthy means keeping your whole future bright. Your kidneys are amazing little filters, working around the clock to clear waste, balance fluids, and regulate blood pressure. But when glucose levels stay elevated, those delicate blood vessels inside your kidneys can become damaged over time. At first, you might not notice anything, just a routine lab test showing a little extra protein in your urine. That protein, called albumin, is your kidney's way of waving a tiny red flag. Hey, something's off here. If that warning goes unchecked, kidney function can slow down, and waste products can build up in your blood. Eventually, some people find themselves facing life on dialysis, tethered to a machine several times a week just to do the cleaning work their kidneys used to manage. Nobody wants that. Especially when there's so much you can do to protect those filters. Managing your blood sugar is, of course, key, but so is watching your blood pressure, because high pressure wears on those same vessels. Simple habits, like easing into a gentle walk or chair exercises, making sure you're well hydrated, and choosing meals that balance protein, fiber, and healthy fats, add up over time. And talking openly with your doctor about medications that can ease the strain on your kidneys makes a big difference, too. By staying on top of those small readings and following through on those small lifestyle shifts, you can keep your kidneys filtering smoothly for years to come. Now, let's follow that theme of protection into another area you might not expect, your immune system. When blood sugar runs high, it doesn't just damage blood vessels and nerves, it can also throw your immune defenses off balance. That's why people with uncontrolled diabetes are more prone to infections, from urinary tract infections to more stubborn skin infections. Have you ever noticed how a minor scrape seems to take forever to heal? Or maybe you've been plagued by repeated fungal infections or bouts of bronchitis. Those are your body's SOS signals, crying out for a little extra support. Here's where the practical steps really shine. First, good hygiene is fundamental, washing your hands and feet, keeping skin folds clean and dry, changing socks daily, and wearing breathable shoes. But beyond that, your nutrition matters, too. Vitamins C and D, found in colorful fruits and fortified dairy or sun-kissed midday rays, can give your immune cells the boost they need. Staying active with light movement, yes, that same walking program, helps circulate immune cells throughout your body, ready to tackle invaders before they gain a foothold. And don't skip your flu and pneumonia vaccines, think of them as proactive armor for the months ahead. When an infection does arise, catching it early makes all the difference. That little twinge of discomfort when you go to the bathroom, the faint redness around a toenail, or a cough that lingers, these are chances to reach out for help right away. A quick phone call to your healthcare team can prevent a small bug from turning into something serious that lands you in the hospital. By paying attention to the whispers of your body and responding with care, you're turning what could be a scary complication into just another routine check-in. Alright, we've covered kidneys, we've talked about immune strength, now let's dive into one more chapter that's a bit more dramatic but too important to skip, the risk of a sudden diabetic crisis. You might have heard of diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA, which is more common in type 1 diabetes, but there's another storm on the horizon for seniors with type 2, its close cousin, hyperosmolar hyperglycemic state, or HHS. Both happen when blood sugar soars out of control, but in HHS, it often creeps up over days, with symptoms like extreme thirst, confusion, weakness, and very high blood sugar readings that can exceed 600 milligrams per deciliter. Imagine waking in the night, parched and disoriented. It feels like a bad dream, but it's very real. If you're alone or hesitant to call for help, those symptoms can spiral, leading to dehydration, seizures, or even coma. It's a frightening scenario, but here's the empowering news. Most diabetic emergencies are preventable with a simple plan. First, make sure there's always a thermometer in easy reach, and keep a log of blood glucose readings. If you notice numbers trending upward, say you've gone from the 120s into the 250s, reach out early. Keep emergency contacts close, a family member, neighbor, or home nurse who can check in if you're feeling off. And have a basic sick day checklist posted on your fridge. Check sugars every 4 hours, sip water or a sugar-free electrolyte drink, take medications as prescribed, and call your doctor at the first sign of trouble. That plan turns panic into preparedness, because you're not waiting for things to get worse, you're acting at the first hint of a problem. Beyond emergencies, let's talk about the everyday, because diabetes complications don't always come in dramatic waves. Sometimes they arrive as brain fog, memory slips, or mood swings. Researchers have found that long-term high blood sugar can affect cognitive function, making it harder to remember appointments, follow recipes, or even multitask as easily as you used to. That can be frustrating, but it's also a sign to adapt your routines, set alarms on your phone for meds, use a color-coded pill box, involve a friend for weekly check-ins. Those small scaffolds protect not just your physical health, but your mental sharpness, too. And let's not forget the power of community. Having a friend, or better yet, a small group, who shares recipes, walks together, or checks in on your progress adds motivation and accountability. It's much easier to stick with healthy habits when someone else is cheering you on, asking how you're doing, or even joining you on that daily stroll. So far, we've explored how diabetes can threaten the kidneys, weaken your immune defenses, spark emergencies, and even cloud your mind. Each of these is serious on its own, but here's the thread that ties them all together: you have more control than you might think. It's not about perfection or willpower, it's about building routines that fit your life, listening closely to your body's signals, and reaching out for support when you need it. That steady attention today pays off tomorrow, preserving your independence and letting you focus on what you love, tending your garden, sharing stories with friends, or simply savoring a quiet cup of tea as the sun sets. You deserve that peace of mind, and these steps, checking your numbers, protecting your kidneys, staying up to date on vaccines, knowing your emergency plan, and leaning on your community, are all within reach. Now that we've walked through these middle chapters, your kidneys, your immune strength, and those sudden high sugar storms, it's time to turn to the final parts of our journey. We'll explore a few more crucial ways diabetes can affect your daily life and wrap up with the practical, heart-lifting reminders that will keep you moving forward with confidence and hope. And just like that, we're arriving at the final stretch of our conversation. We've talked about how diabetes, when left unchecked, can chip away at your nerves, your vision, your heart, your kidneys, even leave you vulnerable to infections or sudden crises. There's one more area that doesn't get as much attention, but can quietly steal your joy if ignored: your mental and emotional health. Living with blood sugar swings over the years can take a real toll on your mood. You may notice yourself feeling more irritable, or perhaps you're more prone to the blues, especially after a day when your numbers spike. That roller coaster of glucose affects the brain's chemistry, sometimes making it harder to feel motivated, focused, or hopeful. It's not just all in your head, it's a physical connection that deserves care. The good news is, by keeping your blood sugar stable, you can lift that fog and help smooth out those emotional peaks and valleys. Practical steps can make a world of difference: carving out short breaks for relaxation, whether it's a few deep breaths by a sunny window, a gentle stretch in your chair, or listening to music that soothes you. Sharing how you feel with a friend or support group can lighten the mental load. They understand the ups and downs because they've felt them, too. And if low moments persist, it can help to bring it up with your doctor. Sometimes a simple tweak in medication or adding a few minutes of walk and talk therapy can bring back a sense of balance. Remember, tending to your mind is just as important as watching your A1C numbers, because happiness and resilience are part of true health. There's one final piece I want to touch on, and it's something many of us take for granted until it starts to slip away: our oral health. High blood sugar creates an environment where bacteria thrive, setting the stage for gum disease, dry mouth, and persistent infections. You might brush your teeth every morning, but if you feel your gums tender or bleed when you floss, that's a red flag, and it's connected to your diabetes. Left untreated, gum disease can lead not only to tooth loss, but it can also send inflammation signals back into your bloodstream, making it even harder to control your blood sugar. The remedy is straightforward, though it takes consistency. A soft bristled brush used gently, flossing each day, and regular dental checkups are your frontline defense. Drinking plenty of water helps keep your mouth moist and rinses away sugar and bacteria. And when you sit down with your dentist, let them know about your diabetes. Together, you can create a plan that keeps both your smile and your blood sugar on track. It's a small commitment that pays big dividends, because a healthy mouth supports a healthy body. As we draw these final threads together, think back on the journey we've taken. We started by acknowledging how diabetes can stealthily harm your nerves, your vision, and your heart. We then delved into the kidneys, the immune system, and the threat of emergencies that come out of the blue. We explored how blood sugar impacts your thinking and mood, and finally, how it can undermine something as simple and precious as your smile. It's a lot to take in, but here's the comforting truth: at every step, you have the power to intervene. When you pause to check your glucose, you're choosing clarity over confusion. When you lace up your shoes for a short walk, you're choosing strength over decline. When you floss and sip water, you're choosing prevention over pain. And when you reach out, whether to a friend, a doctor, or a support group, you're choosing community over isolation. Your path forward doesn't demand perfection. It calls for kindness to yourself, small actions repeated day after day, and the determination to keep showing up. Every healthy choice you make is another vote for your future well-being, another brick in the road to more vibrant years ahead. And you know what? Those bricks add up faster than you might think. I'd love to hear from you. What has helped you keep your blood sugar steady? Has a simple habit made a real difference in your life? Drop a comment below and share your experience. And if you found this conversation reassuring or inspiring, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more friendly guidance on living your best life after 60. We're in this together, learning and growing every step of the way. Here's to your health, your happiness, and the many bright mornings yet to come. Take care of yourself, because you deserve every moment of joy, clarity, and freedom that proper diabetes care can bring. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, full of more tips and motivation to keep you thriving, one day at a time.